Hi, my name's Sherry Sanders, and I'm a county extension agent working in the field of agriculture in White County as a part of the University of Arkansas System Division of Agriculture. And this is Agriculture. This series is meant to celebrate and empower women working in the field of agriculture in the state of Arkansas. This month's feature is Dr. Casandra Cox. She's an assistant professor here at the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville in ag leadership and ag communication. And this is her story.
Growing up as a female in agriculture, I would say things were very different when I was younger and was thinking about what that route was. I never felt like I wouldn't be able to go into that field, but I remember doing an internship, and it was sponsored by a lady whose husband had been a longtime radio broadcaster. And at that time I had a GMC SLX Sierra step-side pickup truck, and I pull up to her home and she meets me at the door. And as I walk in, she said, "Oh honey, those farmers are just going to love you when you show up in your truck." And so I thought that that was interesting because it very much reflected her period of life and the way that you would connect with farmers and ranchers and individuals, that you need to look and act like them and be on their level. But I also thought that it pointed to how I could already tell things had changed greatly. And so I can't say that I've ever experienced any great barriers personally, but I know that those barriers exist, and we know from studying the leadership labyrinth in the theoretical sense that there are things that keep women from moving up into areas, or else we'd have a balance between males and females employed in any industry. And so what we did is Dr. Rucker really championed this. She's my colleague, she's my ride or die here at the University of Arkansas. And so her honors students have been doing some research about the experiences women had, potential barriers they faced as females in agriculture. So then we built onto that, and we did an expanded collection of data where we used a paid research service to look at upper and mid-level managers. We weren't able to keep it all ag focused, but we did have Fortune 500 companies participate in this. And so what we found was we wanted to find out from minorities, from women, from men, what were the barriers and challenges that aligned with some of these leadership labyrinth concepts that they face, because oftentimes when we present this research and we're talking about just women and minorities, males have a valid reason to come up and say, but I experienced those too. And so finding that common ground and being able to talk about was there a difference by gender? Was there a difference by race and ethnicity of the experiences that people had? So we'll be publishing some of those findings, but you can certainly check out the work of Katie Gardner and Grace Vagey, because they both did research projects in that area. And then we've also advanced it to, I was fortunate to be asked to serve as chair for Elizabeth Abadi's thesis program when she arrived here from Nigeria. And so once we got to know each other, we started talking about some of her interests. And she really, again, in her country setting, women can have limited opportunities to participate in agriculture, but we know through some programs in those countries we can move forward their ability to produce and generate income and support their own families. So we wanted to look from a USA standpoint, and specifically Arkansas, at what was happening with women in agriculture. And so her thesis study, we didn't quite get the response rate we had hoped for, but if anybody is interested in filling out her instrument, you can just email me and I will get it to her. But the data she collected is really about understanding what women do as farmers and producers in Arkansas on farm. So how diversified are they? And then also looking at their off-farm and non-farm diversification. So how do they add value to products and market it? But also how do they work in an ag-related career to help support? Maybe it's to provide insurance, maybe it's to give opportunities for their family they wouldn't have otherwise. And then non-farm, maybe they also landed in a career that wasn't connected to agriculture, but allowed them to provide some sort of support for their family. So she's looking at the factors that contribute to that, barriers people face, and kind of the reasons that they would have pursued those different opportunities, either on farm, off farm, or in non-farm. So we're excited to see what our data says, and then be able to take it to the next level to continue collecting data, because we do need this. We need this information to help support the work of Extension, because they are the ones that disseminate what we're doing. We need it so policymakers can understand how women play a role within the agriculture sector. We also need it to ensure that programs that are developed and communicated specifically support female farmers who maybe have different experiences, challenges, barriers, and needs than their male counterparts who are in the same industry or same production.